I still remember the look on her face. Amanda stood frozen in the middle of the restaurant, champagne flute suspended in midair as her eyes locked with mine. I had my arm around Sophia, both of us laughing at some joke, before we spotted my ex-wife staring at us. 5 years of marriage ended by her affair with her boss, yet the shock and jealousy in her eyes spoke volumes. Some wounds heal differently than others. Let me know where you are watching from and drop a like if you have ever seen karma work its magic. I promise this story about finding happiness after betrayal will be worth your time. Amanda and I had been married for 5 wonderful years, or at least that is what I thought. We met during our sophomore year at University of Michigan, both of us struggling through economics class. She asked to borrow my notes one day after she missed a lecture. Her blonde hair fell across her face as she leaned over to read my barely legible handwriting. Something about her smile captivated me instantly. 3 dates later, I knew she was special. 7 months after that, we were inseparable. By senior year, I proposed under the oak tree where we first kissed. She cried happy tears, jumped into my arms, and said yes immediately. Our wedding was small but perfect. We danced to Frank Sinatra under string lights in her parents' backyard while our families cheered. After graduation, I landed an entry-level position at a tech company in Chicago. The pay was decent enough for us to rent a small apartment downtown. Amanda found work as a marketing coordinator at an advertising agency. We were young in love and ready to build our life together. Every morning I would make coffee while she showered. Every evening we would take walks along the lake and plan our future together. By our third anniversary, things were looking up. I received a promotion to project developer, and Amanda became a marketing manager. We started saving for a house in the suburbs, talked about having children in the next couple of years. Life felt like everything was falling perfectly into place. Our 5th anniversary celebration was the last truly happy memory I have of us together. I surprised her with dinner at Gibson, the steakhouse, where we celebrated our engagement. I gave her a sapphire necklace that matched her eyes. She teared up, kissed me across the table, and whispered that she was the luckiest woman alive. If only I knew those words would soon ring hollow. The changes came gradually at first. Amanda started working later, claiming big campaigns needed her attention. Her advertising agency had landed several new clients, and as a manager, she needed to oversee the projects personally. I believed her, proud of her success and dedication. Her job required occasional business trips, too, usually just overnight or weekend conferences in nearby cities. I noticed she would immediately shower when she got home, even before greeting me properly. Her phone became an extension of her hand, and she guarded it carefully. The screen always faced down, and a new password appeared that I did not know. When I mentioned it casually, she said it was for work security reasons. Again, I believed her. Our intimate life dwindled rapidly. Where we once could not keep our hands off each other, she now had headaches, was too tired, or needed to prepare for early meetings. I tried not to take it personally, thinking we were just going through a phase that all married couples experience. The social dynamics shifted too. Our mutual friends from college saw less of us. Amanda claimed she was networking with industry professionals, attending events where spouses were not typically invited. New names entered her conversations, people I had never met. When I expressed interest in joining her sometime, she quickly dismissed the idea, saying I would be bored by advertising talk. A nagging feeling of unease settled in my stomach, but I pushed it down. I started questioning myself instead of her. Was I being paranoid, insecure, controlling? I did not want to be that husband. So I trusted her, gave her space, and focused on being supportive. Then came the physical evidence I could not ignore. While doing laundry, I found a receipt from Le Colonial, an expensive Vietnamese restaurant downtown, from a Tuesday when Amanda said she was working late. The bill showed 2 cocktails, 2 entrees, and was time-stamped at 9:30 p.m. My chest tightened, but I still wanted to believe there was an explanation. Late-night text notifications became regular occurrences. Amanda would jump to check them, often taking her phone to another room to respond. Once I woke at 3 a.m. to find her side of the bed empty. She was in the living room, whispering into her phone. When I appeared in the doorway, she quickly ended the call, claiming it was a work emergency with a client in a different time zone. Her appearance changed too. New clothes appeared in her closet, more stylish and expensive than her usual taste. She started going to the gym 4 times a week, something she had always claimed to hate before. Her hair was professionally colored and styled more frequently. When I complimented her, she seemed almost annoyed by the attention. Whenever I tried to address these changes, Amanda became defensive, even hostile. She accused me of not supporting her career, of being jealous of her success. Our conversations turned into arguments that ended with her storming out or giving me the silent treatment for days. I walked on eggshells in my own home, afraid to voice my concerns. I tried everything to save our marriage. I planned surprise date nights, only to have her cancel at the last minute. I bought her thoughtful gifts that collected dust. I even suggested marriage counseling, which made her laugh and say we did not need strangers telling us how to communicate. I felt helpless watching my marriage slip through my fingers without understanding why. The moment of truth arrived unexpectedly on a Wednesday afternoon. I received a call from Thomas, a graphic designer who worked with Amanda. He needed to send her some urgent proofs for approval but could not reach her. When I mentioned she was at a marketing conference in Detroit, his confused silence spoke volumes. There was no conference. The team had been in the office all week. My hands shook as I ended the call. The lies were now undeniable. That night, I barely slept, turning over every suspicious incident from the past months in my mind. By morning, I had made a decision I never thought I would make. I contacted a private investigator, a former police officer recommended by a colleague who had unfortunately been through a similar situation. The investigation lasted just over a week. When the investigator called to meet, his sympathetic tone told me everything before he even shared his findings. Still, seeing the photographs felt like a physical blow. Amanda entering an upscale hotel downtown. Amanda kissing a tall, distinguished-looking man in the elevator. The timestamp showed Tuesday afternoon during normal working hours. The man was William Bennett, her boss, and the agency's CEO. Despite having proof, I needed to see it with my own eyes. The following Tuesday, I called in sick to work and parked across from her office building at 2:15 p.m. Amanda emerged, checking her surroundings before walking 3 blocks to the same hotel from the photographs. 10 minutes later, her boss followed the same path. I sat in my car for nearly an hour, unable to move. My chest felt like it was being crushed under a massive weight. Breathing became difficult and my vision blurred with tears I refused to let fall. Everything suddenly made horrible sense. The late nights, the business trips, the showers, the phone secrecy, all of it. That evening, I spread the photographs across our dining table and waited. When Amanda came home, her smile vanished the moment she saw my face, and then the evidence laid out before her. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The silence was deafening. She did not deny it. There were no tears, no pleas for forgiveness. Instead, she straightened her shoulders and told me coldly that William made her feel alive, appreciated, and valued, words that cut deeper than any knife. The argument that followed was ugly and raw. Amanda attacked me personally, claiming I was boring, lacked ambition, and could not provide the lifestyle she deserved. The woman I had loved for years transformed before my eyes into someone I did not recognize. When I asked how long the affair had been going on, her answer stunned me into silence. 8 months. More than half a year of deception while sleeping beside me every night. She admitted consulting with a divorce attorney weeks ago. Everything had been planned meticulously. Her calculated betrayal was almost impressive in its thoroughness. By midnight, she had packed several suitcases and left to stay with William. Just like that, my marriage ended with the closing of our front door. The days that followed exist in my memory as a blur of pain and disbelief. I called in sick to work for a week, barely eating or sleeping. My boss was understanding when I finally explained the situation, allowing me to work remotely while I processed everything. But functioning normally seemed impossible. The financial discoveries came next. Amanda had systematically drained our joint savings account, leaving just enough to avoid immediate suspicion. Our credit cards carried balances I knew nothing about. She had been preparing her exit strategy for months, ensuring her comfort while leaving me financially vulnerable. Friends I thought were loyal revealed they had suspicions about Amanda and William but said nothing. Some admitted seeing them together at events but assumed I knew and was accepting of some modern arrangement. Others simply disappeared from my life, choosing sides in the divorce I never wanted. Only Jake, my college roommate, remained steadfastly supportive, checking on me daily, despite living in another state. The divorce proceedings were a nightmare. Amanda hired an aggressive attorney who demanded half of everything, including my retirement savings and family heirlooms. Despite her infidelity in our no-fault state, she was entitled to an equal division of assets. The injustice burned like acid. Sleep became my enemy. Night after night, I would lie awake, replaying moments from our marriage, searching for signs I missed. When exhaustion finally claimed me, nightmares of Amanda with William would jolt me back to consciousness. I lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks. My reflection became a stranger, hollow-eyed and gray-skinned. Most devastating was the complete loss of trust, not just in Amanda, but in my own judgment. How could I have been so blind, so easily deceived? The foundation of my identity crumbled, leaving me questioning everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and my ability to recognize truth from lies. Rock bottom arrived on a rainy Tuesday, 3 months after Amanda left. I stood in front of my bathroom mirror, unshaven and unwashed for days. The pathetic figure staring back shocked me into reality. I did not recognize myself anymore. This hollow shell was not me. It could not be all that remained of Jonathan Walker. My phone rang, displaying Jake's name. I almost ignored it, as I had most calls lately, but something made me answer. Jake was not calling to check in as usual. He was downstairs in my building lobby, demanding to be let up. His tone left no room for refusal. 20 minutes later, I found myself being practically dragged to his car. Jake drove us to his gym in silence, ignoring my protests. He handed me borrowed workout clothes and pointed toward the locker room. When I emerged, he guided me through a basic workout, pushing me just enough to force my body into action without overwhelming me. The physical exertion did something unexpected. As sweat poured from my body, tears finally came too. In the gym shower afterward, I broke down completely, releasing months of suppressed emotion. It was not pretty or dignified, but it was necessary. Somehow, Jake knew exactly what I needed before I did. Over protein shakes afterward, Jake spoke bluntly. He reminded me that while I could not control what Amanda did, I could control my response to it. I could choose to remain a victim, or rebuild myself stronger than before. His words were simple, but hit with the force of revelation. I had been giving Amanda power over me long after she had physically left. That night, I made a list of things within my control: my health, my career, my home, my future. For the first time since the divorce began, I slept through the night without nightmares. The next morning, I scheduled an appointment with a therapist Jake recommended, Dr. Russell, specialized in betrayal trauma. Our first session was uncomfortable but necessary. He explained how betrayal affects the brain similarly to PTSD, validating my experiences without allowing me to wallow in them. We established a treatment plan focusing on rebuilding my sense of self, separate from my identity as a husband or victim. Physical transformation became my tangible goal. I joined Jake's gym permanently, starting with 3 sessions weekly, then increasing to 5. I overhauled my diet, cutting out the takeout and alcohol that had become staples during my depression. Within weeks, my clothes fit differently. Within months, I needed new ones entirely. At work, I channeled my pain into productivity. I volunteered for a challenging project others avoided, working evenings and weekends to make it successful. My focus and dedication caught the attention of senior management. When the project exceeded expectations, I received not just praise, but a promotion to senior project manager with a substantial raise and expanded responsibilities. The divorce finalized 6 months after Amanda left. Despite her attorney's aggressive tactics, my own lawyer negotiated a reasonable settlement. I lost some assets, but kept my retirement intact, and the family watch my grandfather had given me. The day I signed the final papers felt like removing heavy chains from my body. I celebrated by booking a weekend hiking trip alone in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, something Amanda had always refused to do. With my newfound freedom and improved finances, I purchased a modern loft downtown, a completely different style from the suburban house Amanda and I had been saving for. The process of furnishing it exactly to my taste became therapeutic. No compromises, no considering someone else's preferences. Every choice reflected the man I was becoming, not the man I had been. Expanding my horizons became a priority. I enrolled in cooking classes, something I had always wanted to try, but Amanda discouraged, preferring restaurants to home cooking. The regular Tuesday night sessions became highlights of my week, learning to create dishes that nourished both body and soul. On the sixth cooking class, our regular instructor called in sick. The replacement was Sofia Garcia, a nutritionist and chef who normally taught advanced classes. She entered the room with infectious energy, dark curls bouncing as she demonstrated knife skills with impressive speed and precision. Her passion for food was evident in every gesture and explanation. Unlike Amanda's polished perfection, Sophia was authentically herself. She laughed too loudly at her own jokes, had a small sauce stain on her chef's jacket, and spoke with slight traces of her Puerto Rican heritage in certain words. These imperfections made her somehow more beautiful to me. After class, she complimented my perfectly diced vegetables, jokingly asking if I had professional experience. We fell into easy conversation about food traditions and family recipes. For the first time in almost a year, I felt a genuine connection with someone new. Still, when she mentioned getting coffee, sometime alarm bells rang in my mind. I politely declined, making an excuse about a busy schedule. The following week, Sophia was teaching again. This time, she paired us for a cooking challenge. Working alongside her, I felt both comfortable and nervous in a way I had not experienced since college. She respected my boundaries, but maintained a warm openness that slowly disarmed my defenses. 3 weeks later, I finally accepted her coffee invitation. We met at a small cafe near the lake, planning to chat for an hour. We stayed for 3 conversation flowing effortlessly between serious topics and ridiculous humor. Sophia had experienced her own relationship disappointments and understood my hesitation without me explaining much. She did not push for details or make me feel broken for being cautious. Our friendship developed naturally over the next months. Cooking classes led to farmers market visits, museum exhibitions, and weekend hikes. Sophia never pushed for more, allowing me to set the pace of our relationship. She listened when I finally shared the full story of Amanda's betrayal, offering neither judgment nor empty platitudes, just genuine understanding. 8 months after meeting during a lakeside picnic she had prepared, I finally gathered the courage to kiss her. The moment felt simultaneously terrifying and absolutely right. Sophia responded with equal tenderness, and afterward we both laughed at how nervous we had been. We decided to officially date, taking things slowly but deliberately. Unlike the whirlwind romance with Amanda, my relationship with Sophia built steadily on friendship, respect, and transparency. She encouraged my independence while supporting my goals. We maintained separate apartments and lives while creating something beautiful together. For the first time, I understood what a healthy partnership truly meant. My career continued advancing as well. The company selected me to lead an international expansion project requiring occasional travel to Europe. Sophia celebrated this achievement without jealousy or suspicion, even helping me practice my rusty French for meetings in Paris. Her confidence in me bolstered my own. By our 1 year anniversary, I had transformed physically, professionally, and emotionally. Regular exercise had replaced my formerly soft physique with one I actually felt proud of. My confidence returned stronger than before, rooted in self-knowledge rather than external validation. Most importantly, I had learned to trust again both myself and someone else. Our anniversary fell on a Saturday in June. I made reservations at Everest, one of Chicago's finest restaurants with panoramic views of the city skyline. Sophia wore a burgundy dress that highlighted her olive skin, her dark curls styled elegantly around her face. As we sipped champagne and watched the sunset paint the city gold, I felt profound gratitude for the journey that led me to this moment. The hostess seated us at a window table. As I held Sophia's chair, movement across the restaurant caught my eye. Amanda sat alone at the bar, staring directly at us. My stomach dropped momentarily before an unexpected calmness settled over me. Of all the restaurants in Chicago, fate had a strange sense of humor. Sophia noticed my expression and followed my gaze. She squeezed my hand reassuringly, silently asking if I was okay. I nodded, determined not to let this coincidence ruin our special evening. We ordered appetizers and fell into conversation about Sophia's plans to open her own nutritional consulting practice. 20 minutes into our meal, Amanda approached our table, wine glass in hand. She looked expensively dressed as always, but something about her appearance seemed forced, almost desperate in its perfection. Her smile did not reach her eyes as she greeted me with exaggerated warmth. I introduced Sophia politely, but briefly. Amanda barely acknowledged her, focusing entirely on me, with uncomfortable intensity. She mentioned mutual friends, asked about my parents, and reminisced about places we had visited together. Each attempt at nostalgic connection felt calculated to exclude Sophia from the conversation. When Amanda casually mentioned that she and William had ended their relationship 3 months ago, her intention became crystal clear. She delicately explained that he had been seeing his executive assistant behind her back, the irony apparently lost on her. Her hand touched my arm as she spoke, lingering longer than appropriate. Sophia watched this display with remarkable composure, neither showing jealousy nor discomfort. Her quiet confidence stood in stark contrast to Amanda's increasingly obvious attempts to recapture my attention. When Amanda suggested we meet for lunch sometime to catch up properly, I declined firmly but politely. My response clearly disappointed her. Amanda's demeanor shifted instantly, her pleasant facade cracking to reveal bitterness underneath. She looked at Sophia with barely disguised contempt and asked how long we had been together, implying with her tone that it must be something casual and temporary. When Sophia answered honestly about our anniversary celebration, Amanda's face flushed with anger and perhaps genuine surprise. She had not expected me to rebuild my life so completely without her. In that moment, I recognized the narcissism that had always been present, but that love had blinded me to years ago. Amanda's composure collapsed entirely. She made a cutting remark about Sophia's dress being something from a department store, followed by an insulting comment about her career being merely cooking for others. The contrast between the two women could not have been more stark, Amanda attempting to wound with words while Sophia remained dignified. I stood up, placing myself slightly between them. In a calm, steady voice that surprised even me, I asked Amanda to leave us alone. I told her clearly that I had moved on completely and had no interest in rekindling any connection, friendly or otherwise. Her presence was unwelcome and her behavior inappropriate. Rather than leaving gracefully, Amanda raised her voice, creating a scene that drew attention from nearby tables. She accused me of betraying our history, of replacing her too quickly, of being cruel. The restaurant manager approached discreetly, asking if everything was all right. Before I could respond, Amanda knocked over a water glass, deliberately splashing both Sophia and the manager. As security escorted a protesting Amanda from the restaurant, Sophia reached for my hand across the table. Her touch anchored me in the present, preventing me from being pulled back into Amanda's dramatic current. The manager apologized profusely, offering complimentary desserts and ensuring we were comfortable continuing our evening. Remarkably, once the initial shock passed, Sophia and I found ourselves laughing about the absurdity of the situation. We enjoyed the rest of our meal in peace, refusing to allow Amanda's interruption to dominate our celebration. By dessert, the incident had become just another story in our shared narrative, already losing its power to affect us. Walking back to my apartment later that night, Sophia asked how I felt seeing Amanda again. The question made me pause and reflect honestly. I realized that the encounter had confirmed something important. The pain that once consumed me had transformed into something else entirely, not bitterness or anger, but genuine indifference, mixed with a touch of compassion for someone trapped in cycles of her own making. Looking at the Chicago skyline from my loft windows that night, with Sophia curled against my side, I contemplated the strange journey that brought me here. The betrayal that once seemed like the end of my world had ultimately freed me to find authentic happiness. The woman who broke my heart had inadvertently led me to a woman who helped me rebuild it stronger. The lesson I learned through all this pain was profound yet simple. Our worth never depends on someone else's ability to recognize it. The betrayal was never about my inadequacy, but about Amanda's character and choices. By rebuilding myself from the broken pieces, I discovered strengths I never knew I possessed. Perhaps most importantly, I learned that healing is not a destination, but a continuing journey. Some days are still harder than others. Trust does not come as easily as it once did. But these scars are not weaknesses. They are evidence of survival and growth. They remind me of how far I have come and the resilience within me. If you have experienced betrayal or heartbreak, know that your story does not end there. The chapter may close painfully, but new ones will open if you allow them to. Have you ever had an experience where pain eventually led to something better in your life? Share your story in the comments below. Life has a way of bringing unexpected gifts, often disguised as our greatest challenges. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life experiences. Your support means everything, and I am grateful for each of you who took the time to listen. Until next time, remember that your best days are not behind you, they are still waiting ahead.